Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to this webinar. Today we're going to listen to manager Marie Zimmerman. She's going to talk about the qualification for Eagle Manager. As you know, this qualification period is about to end in 2.5 weeks, but at the same time, a new one begins. So we look forward to listen to you, Marie, and to get some tips. So, a very warm welcome to you, Marie.
Unmuted.
Thank you, Camilla, and thank you, Forever Office, for having me talking to you about becoming an eagle. I will do my very best to inspire you. Okay, let's start it. Let's get started. This is me. I am from Sweden, just outside Stockholm, 35-40 kilometers south of Stockholm. I have a husband and 2 grown-up kids and a dog. In December 2005, I was invited to a product launch from a friend of mine who lives nearby. She talked to me about aloe something. I had never heard about aloe vera, but I got very interested. I went to this event, this product launch, and I found the products super interesting. I got the products that are 3 yellow bottles, a toothpaste, and a heat lotion. The toothpaste was a present, and I thought a toothpaste for about 10 euros must be really, really good. I gave it to my husband, who actually is the one that had problems with his gum, actually, not his teeth, but so I thought he's a good person to try this product on. I didn't say anything to him, I just gave it to him, and he started using it. After 3 days, he said, "What is this?" He had stopped bleeding in his mouth. So this was really interesting. We started to drink aloe vera, my daughter and I, who had some problems with her skin. And after a couple of weeks, we really realized that this is something very easy to take, and it also has a fantastic result. Next time I came to buy some new bottles, this friend of mine said, "No, you should buy this on your own. You should have your own customer number and get a wholesale price." Okay, and I had no idea how this worked. I didn't know anything about network marketing, and I already had a full-time job. So I took the documents home. At that time, 2006, we had documents that we had to fill in and send into the office. And on the back side, we had the rules and regulations that we can also read about, of course, on the homepage. But they were all written down on these papers. And I took it home, and there was so much text and so much information, so I just didn't read it. I just gave it to my husband and said, "Look at this." And he said, "You know what, don't worry, you have a discount and you're not obligated to anything, and just shoot, why shouldn't you buy the products yourself?" Yes, so I did. I went back to my now sponsor and said, "Okay, let's go for it." She did a kind of an business presentation. We weren't that good at that time, none of us. But I mean, she explained this to me, and I realized that if I also retail some products, I can have our products for free. And I don't know if I'm economic or if I'm just an entrepreneur, but I thought that sounds good. So I registered it on the 26th of April. I bought 4 cc's. And you know what? I have done 4 cc ever since, because that's how I was taught. Because if you retail 4 cc, or better to say, if you retail 3 cc, you have your 1 cc on your own for free. So that's what I did. And I thought, I had a full-time job. I was working for a pharmaceutical company as a coordinator. I was traveling a lot. And my customers, they were in Brazil, Mexico, and also some parts of Europe. And when I was traveling, when I came back, I had a jet lag for a week. So I didn't think that I had much time. And I also had a house that we were renovating. My husband was also traveling with work. And our kids in their teenagers' time, they had 2 or 3 activities each a week. So my days were already full, but I thought that if I like aloe vera and use these skin products, other people will like it too. So I decided to have 2 product launches a month only. And I always had them the day after each other. So I was prepared. I was already packed, and then I could place 1 order. And I did this constantly from April and starting in May. And I also had some people around me that said, wow, what are you doing? And honestly, I didn't really know what I did. So I told them that I have this customer number and I purchase the products and then I sell them to the ones who want it. So I registered some people, and by September I was a supervisor, which was good. I mean, I understood that. I understood the 38% and so on. But I continued at my work. In the spring of 2007, we had this talk with your manager, with your boss, about your salary. It's a yearly talk, and we were going to talk about raise to increase our salaries, and it was a laugh. I had worked very hard. I am a loyal worker, and I also work a little bit too hard. And my colleague, he wasn't working that hard at all, and we had the same raise, we had the same salary, and I realized that this isn't fair. Life isn't fair, but I thought it can't be this way, and I felt really, really sad because I liked my job actually. And exactly the same time, it was a European rally in Stockholm. I had never ever heard about this, but I told one of my downlines, who is a very good friend of mine. We said we go there. We bought the tickets to us and for our husbands, and so the four of us, we took the underground, the train to go to this place in Stockholm. When we got there were about 12,000 people from all over Europe attending this event, and it was a full party on a Saturday morning at 10. I thought it was amazing. I didn't understand this at all. And this is the weekend where I realized how big Forever is and what Forever can do for anybody. And I got so hooked and I got so inspired by all these people that went up on stage. And when I saw them on stage, I really must say that when I saw these different people, I thought, if they do this, I can do this. And I also heard from my sponsor and my other uplines that they had been invited to this, and they had stayed overnight in a 5-star hotel in Stockholm. They had been to a dinner party with a long dress. And I thought, this is what I want to do. I also want to have this for free. I want to be invited to this, and I want to wear a long dress on a party. So I talked to them how to do this. And they told me about the whole thing with the challenge, because this was a challenge, and that's what I want, a key point. Because in that autumn, there was a challenge from Forever, Scandinavia, September, October, November, level 1, 2, 3, as we always have. And I aimed for level 3, and I aimed for becoming a manager by the end of November 2007. Because did that, I would be invited to go to Budapest, and I could pick up my manager pin from Rexmon. And if you see the picture up on the screen, you can see me meeting Rex on stage, and I got my manager pin, and I really aimed for that goal, and it felt superb to get it there. So it is what you focus on that you are going to achieve. And this is what I want to say with this. After I had become a manager in November 2007, 2 weeks later, my husband asked me if, because he got a question from his company to go and live abroad. And that was a start from January. And I just said yes, because I thought this would be my chance to develop my business, not only abroad, but at all. Because I was working full time, and I realized that I need to go down in time at my work to be able to expand my business. So we said yes to that. My husband moved already in January 2008, but we stayed home, the kids and I, until August 2008. When we arrived in Czech Republic, in Prague, 10th of August, I had told the office that I would like to be 4cc active from August in Czech Republic and not in Sweden anymore. Meaning that by the end of August I needed 4cc to get paid on my team in Sweden. I came to Prague and I didn't know anyone. Never been there before. I didn't speak the language. So I thought I need to find a way to start my business there. On the 20th of August, our daughter started school. She was 16 at the time. Of course, she didn't need my attention at school. But I thought I'd just go in with her in school, leave her to her classroom, and I went to the cafeteria. Because I thought if the school has 800 students, there might be some people there who likes aloe vera. So I went into the cafeteria and all of a sudden this woman comes up to me and talks Swedish to me and says, "Are you Swedish?" And she invited me to have coffee with them out in the sun on the back of the school. So that's how I started to get to know some people. This was on a Tuesday. And on the way back home on Tuesday this morning, another lady came up to me and spoke in English, asked if I lived on this street, and I said yes. And she said, "We are neighbors. I saw you this morning. My name is Erin." So we became friends, and the day after, she introduced me to some of her friends. On Friday morning, I realized that what I said was that, "Why don't you come to my spa morning on Monday at 9 o'clock, and I will at 9 a.m. and I will invite you to have brunch, and I will present the products that I work with." I had six ladies that came to my house on Monday morning. I had prepared a brunch, and I had also prepared the whole weekend a presentation in English because I had everything in Swedish or in Czech. And these ladies were not all from Scandinavian countries, so I did it in English. And when they left 2.5 hours later, I had sold products for 4.7 cc's. I was jumping up and down when they left the house and thought, wow, this is going to be like a walk in the park. Of course, it wasn't always that easy, but I was just focused on this business. Unfortunately, at that time, 10 years ago, we were not that good at social media. I did Skype with a lot of people in my team in Sweden, but after 2 years in Prague, I realized that my business went a bit down in Sweden, but of course it increased in Czech Republic. During the 1.5 years that I lived there, I sponsored 27 people, and they are now spread all over the world, so it's fantastic. And they can go wherever they want in the world to live, and they can always purchase the products they are used to. I also lived 2 years now, 2016 and 18, part-time in Munich. My husband stayed there all the time, and I was traveling back and forth. And a lot of people say to me that, wow, fantastic, you can build your business abroad. And yes, it is fantastic. But I just want to tell you that you're not going to be successful only if you think that you have to expand internationally. You don't. I would like to tell you to dig where you stand. First, your success is not by building your business abroad. It is a plus. And if you have the time and you have the efforts to do that, go for it. I don't stopping you, but I'm saying that some people say, well, I don't speak English very good. No, you don't have to. Stay in your country. Because there's so many people out there that you still haven't talked to. So think about that. On the other hand, it's fantastic experience to build business abroad. So I've done that, and I managed to go for Eagle 2014, 15, 16, and 17, and I'm full-time in Forever since 2010. To become an Eagle, there are some rules that we have to follow. I will show you those, and you got to have a plan, and I hope that I can give you some inspiration to do a little bit more than normal to reach your Eagle. The rules these are picked from the homepage. So what I would like to tell you is that you need to know your skills. you need to understand the incentive. It's not your upline's mission to provide you with this. If you're interested, this is your business. It's none of uplines or downlines business. It's yours. So you got to learn your skills. You got to learn the rules. If it's an incentive, if it's a challenge, or whatever it is you're striving for. So check the rules and regulation on the home page. And Eagle Manager is like a broken year. It's from 1st of May to the 31st of April. And you've got to be active with 4cc, so don't miss out any of those months, because then you are out. So be very careful that you're always 4cc active. You've got to be leadership bonus qualified every month. You have to generate at least 720 total CCs, including at least 100 case credits that are new, that you have new sponsored through this period. And out of these 100 new CCs, 2 people need to be supervisors. And those supervisors from new CCs during this period can be in any country. It is fantastic that Greg and Aiden has changed that rule since only recently. Of course, you should always support local and regional meetings. The thing is that if you do that, you stay focused. You stay focused on where you want to go. And it's also a way of mingle among your colleagues. So it's very important. And if there aren't any local meetings, why don't you set up some? You can set up the local meetings and invite your team and friends and guests to them, and then you start this. So you don't really have to have it if you're living in a city or a town where not much is going on from Forever side. So what do you get? Well, you get a trip for 2, all-inclusive 5-star hotels. It's fantastic. I have always been so amazed how Forever are doing this in the world with all people from all nationalities, and it always works smoothly. There are signs, there are information, and we are so supported. And I'm just really overwhelmed every time. And my husband, who's not working with Forever, but he's my best supporter, he always brag about Forever as a company, because he works for another company, a traditional, as an employee, and he's happy about that. But he loves these trips, of course. But he's also always bragging about Forever as a company, how these trips are, how you will never ever be disappointed. You will never be disappointed about the trainings, the trip, the hotel rooms, the staff, the food, or whatever. And the trainings are so fantastic. For me, personally, I love this because we get to talk and listen to people from all over the world. And if you listen to a man or a woman from Zimbabwe, I think it's fantastic. And how they build their business in their country. You can always learn so much. You can hang out with new friends, of course, that you make during this trip. But also old friends here from Scandinavia. Key members, for example, we meet at key parties or key meetings, and we meet at summer party gatherings, success days, but we never really get the chance to talk and hang out and get to know each other more. And here we always have time for that. You can have dinner with someone that you like from another part of your country and that you always wanted to know. So I think I like that a lot. We always receive a great goodie bag. It's always exciting to see what's in it this time. Yeah, you got to have a plan. You got to plan your success. So it's very easy because the rules is your map. You need 720 case credits through 1st of May through April, which means that you need at least 60 CCs per month. But as Kim Madsen says, a year in Forever has actually only 10 months. So you should always count on 10 because then you are ahead. And this panic early. So now we are by mid-April. You still have 2.5 weeks left to manage Eagle Manager for this period. And the ones of you who have already achieved it, you can now start really to plan what's going to happen by the 1st of May. Because if you panic early, it's going to be so much easier. Last year when the challenge started, I set up a goal that I should be ready with my Eagle Manager by December the same year. I did it, but it reached till 15th of January. But I did reward myself because I was happy anyway, because then I had 4 months now to prepare myself and prepare others, but I could also stop thinking about Eagle Manager. I could just relax and go in the year with another focus. So actually you should think that you need 72 cc's a month. And if you're a new manager, you might not have that total yet, but you can still reach it because you have 1 year. 1st of May is in 2.5 weeks and then it starts and you can go for it. You also need 100 new cc's, and from those, 2 people are supposed to become supervisors. I know that we should have a new supervisor every month, right? But we also know that that's maybe not for all of us the truth. So if you struggle with the total, you might struggle with new cc's every year, or you struggle with supervisors. Please look at what you have struggled with, because that's where you have to work. The other parts, they will come anyway. So if you look how your May to April have looked, even if you're not gonna have managed Eagle Manager now, look at your numbers, look at your figures. Where are you lacking? Is it the new cc's? Oh, maybe not. I know that when I realized that I have got to go for Eagle Manager and it was possible, I always seen that I never ever struggled with new cc's. I have from 130 to 150 new cc's every year, every Eagle Manager year. So my problem wasn't that. So I needed to focus on where is my problem. It's terrible to say problem. Where do I have to be better? Where do I have to learn my skills? So do that. Check how your year was last year and see where you have to work. And you have to think about, where's my new cc's gonna come from? How many people do you have in your pipeline? I remember Jane Leach saying you need to have 8 people in your pipeline all the time. So think about that. And of course, the more you have, the better it is. So that's at least every day. If you think about your pipeline every day, there should be 8 names. And you've got to do something with them, of course. I have one tip that I would like to give you that I normally never ever do or give. But I actually do that when it's coming to the 15th of April. For you who are really, really reaching for Eagle Manager, next qualification period, I don't sponsor anyone after the 15th of April. I usually buy a top 8 box and I tell them exactly why this person, and I tell them that I will lend you these products and I will have these product launches for you, and I will make this bag of product that you can use for to people. And then the 1st of May, we make your order together and we registrate you as a new FBO. It depends on this. I do this once a year if I have someone that not really can wait, but I'm not stopping anyone, of course. But I hope you understand what I mean. I never do this throughout the year, but in this case, Eagle Manager starts 1st of May. So that's just a tip. And I would also say to you that are not new in Forever, I would say make your name list again. Pick up your first step to manager, a new one, and do it all over again. Pretend that you are not a manager and do it again. So make a name list and start working with them as you have already done so many times. So do it again. One thing that I do every day, 5 days a week, is that I every evening write down 6 key points for tomorrow. And these key points are always CC related. It doesn't say follow up. It says call Anders, talk about C9. Get back to Hannele to talk about the presentation. So it's really detailed on what to do, not follow up on customers. What customers? You sit there and you think the next day. The next day you should start your morning with your routines. I have my routines. I always start with some kind of pep from whatever it could be. Get ready, have breakfast, and I walk my dog, and I come back again, and then I start. And I work on these key points. And I also have a reward. So if I haven't done these key points, I am not allowed to go down out in my garden, for example, which I love to dig in the earth and planting and stuff. It's really annoying if I can't do that. So I have to do these six things each day first, because these activities makes me come forward. So if you are focused on Eagle Manager starting now, your activities should benefit your Eagle throughout the year. So I would say, for example, what I always do every year, shouldn't say this so loud actually, but I change, like passwords or things in my phone that reminds me Eagle Manager 2018. So that you feed yourself with this, and it will come true, because this will make you focused on what you want, and it will also make you take the actions needed for it. So my tips are your focus. If you do something tomorrow, you should always take like a step back, and then you think, okay, when I do this, is this going to bring my business forward? Is this going to give me CCs in the long run? It doesn't have to be for now. If you sell a product, it's right away. But if you in the long run, so think about that. One thing that I always do, regardless Eagle or whatever, I try to. I don't really like the word trying, because trying is failure with honor. But it's very easy to say that, so I shouldn't use try. But what I do, as much as I can with my time, is that the first week of the month is kind of mine. I focus on my retail, on my customers, on my prospects that I have. And so I focus more or less. If you're a manager or senior, whatever, you have a huge team. And of course you have phone calls and stuff. But also try to maybe turn off your phone for a couple of hours and focus on yours, on your stuff. So the last couple of days in a month, I focus like a day, an hour or two a day on finding new customers, talking to old customers, sending new mail. I always only contact my customers once a month. I tell them, in this case, in March, it was on the 4th of April, I am going to place an order. I have this and this offers. Maybe that might be of interest. Otherwise, this is a link to my catalog. And please feel free to contact me for any further questions. And please come back to me before the 4th of April with your order. So I work with this, and it takes a while. It takes some time, and you are busy and occupied. But on the 4th of in the month, I place my 4cc order, always. Meaning that after that, I can relax. I can focus on my team. I can focus on the new prospecting that I need to do, and especially now with Eagle, always, of course, and helping your team. So, you know, I know that it's instead of you having in mind, how am I going to get the 4cc? This should not be your problem. If you are not 4cc active every month, you're actually only a customer, which is not bad at all. Everybody's welcome, but you are not a dedicated FBO striving for Eagle Manager or Chairman's Bonus, Global Rally, or whatever it could be, or manager or next level supervisor. So that's your key. It's the key thing for success in Forever. Challenges. Forever is giving us the best challenges. It's marvelous, and you should really go for those. And you should always aim for level 3, and then you reach number 2, or you reach number 3, like I did, because I was focused on that. And that the thing is that you need level 3 to proceed to next level in the marketing plan, or maybe even for because you need supervisors, you need new people, you need the new CCs. So go for the challenges. There will be a challenge this summer, as always, and there will be a challenge probably this autumn as well. So go for those. But you can also arrange your own challenges within your team. You don't have to have a big team to have a challenge. And then, of course, you need to reward them, but you should also reward yourself. Now I can't remember what this measure thing is called in English, but you see the picture that you can measure around your waist, or you can measure other things, of course. I would suggest that you buy one with 100 centimeters, and you put it up somewhere where the whole family and people around you can see it, and you can see it every day. And for every new CC, you cut a centimeter, and that because you need 100, right? Maybe you should buy one with 150 cc's, because if you can also have that for your manager. If you're not a manager yet, you need 120 cc within 2 months, or you need 150 cc's within 3, alternative 4 months. So this is a good thing to use as a tool, I think. Maybe it's something for you as well. You never know. Interesting is also, if you are already a manager already by now, you know, the key qualification from January to December has already started. The thing is that the people that you registered also in May counts in for Eagle, but of course they also count in for Key. And the supervisors that you help from May on, they are used for Key and for Eagle. Of course, you should have plenty and many of supervisors, but just saying that you can think clever. Something that I like very much is Crossline, because I think we should learn from each other, and sometimes our team needs to hear somebody else than you. I used to think about that. My God, they hear my voice all the time. So hook up with a friend, a Crossline colleague that you might be on the same level, kind of, so you can also use each other as pep to achieve things. And sometimes you have it's easier sometimes to talk to a Crossline colleague because you are not connected to each other. So you can talk about things or issues that you have, or problems in the team, or whatever you would like to ventilate with. You can do that with a Crossline colleague. And of course, it's fortunate if you live close. I think it might be easier, but you can also use each other through Skype and use each other for your 4cc qualification party celebrations, and you can invite a Crossline colleague to talk to your colleagues and to your members of your team. So I would really inspire you to work Crossline. FLP 360, you can read about it on the homepage and also on the American homepage. The American homepage shows us our bonus recaps, of course. It has trainings and videos in all different languages. The homepage is fantastic. If you have downlines abroad, FLP 360 is fantastic because at the home pages you can only see your first line. If you have someone abroad, you can't see their downlines on the American homepage. So if you are building team abroad, you need FLP 360. You pay about 130 Swedish kronas a month for that. And I think it's very, very important, since my team in Germany is growing and they are spreading themselves to Spain. And I was wondering how I got a bonus from Spain. I have my mom in Spain, she lives there, and she purchased 2cc every quarter. So, the bonus from Spain normally is not that big. But all of a sudden I keep getting bonus recaps from Spain every month. So I realized who is building there. So Teresa, I have now talked to. It's fantastic to see what she's doing. And I wouldn't have realized if it wasn't for FLP 360. I think you should have your own carrot. I mean, the carrot is to go to this beautiful trip. But Eagle Manager is not only to have the trip. That's the reward. But you are building a stable business. And this is what we all want, I guess. We all want to increase our businesses. And Greg and Aidan and the GLT members, they created the Eagle Manager program for managers because they realized that a lot of managers became managers and then they dropped because they had nothing more to strive after, except for Chairman's Bonus and Global Rally, which is marvelous, of course. But they needed something else. And earlier, if you've been with Forever longer, and as long as I have and longer, we had the European rallies, and they were for everybody. But that was also like a carrot for us. And all of a sudden, we didn't have anything. So the Eagle Manager program is something that they are very, very proud of, and they cherish this program very much. So being an Eagle is really feeling that you are increasing your business. So go for it. So you need to start to make contacts and think about that. The people that you talk to, have a coffee with them, explain to them what a beautiful business this is. They might not be interested, but show them your catalog. They might be interested in your products. Most of them are. So take the contacts and be good. Don't be pushy. Don't spam anyone. Just be yourself and be natural and stay cool in this and think about that people they might not say yes now, but they might say yes later. So just keep in contact or invite them and ask if you are allowed to invite them. Ask them if they want a monthly newsletter from you. Be a good FBO. Because the more, if you hunt people, if you are chasing and hunting after people, they won't like you and they won't like Forever. The more people like Forever in Sweden, Scandinavia, Finland, Denmark, Norway, the more people would like to work with us. They might not choose you. They might choose someone else. But if you're a good person, you will have a great business. So start with yourself. You have to follow up. I meet a lot of people out there saying, oh yes, I bought a heat lotion once. And I thought, oh, okay. Do you still have contact with that distributor? I said, no, I never heard more from her or him. So pick those up. There are a lot of people out there that once were customers to somebody, and that somebody maybe stopped or maybe not as good at following up. So you be good at following up. Of course, you need a system, and I am sure that wherever you are, you have a team around you with uplines or crosslines that would help you if you have difficulties with this. Everything you do, you have to be able to duplicate. So don't do things that are too difficult. Make it easy. This job is easy, or is it simple job, but it's not always easy, I should say. But you need to know what to do, who to contact, and why you're doing this. Because if you don't know why you're working with Forever, why you are talking about the product, or why you're going for Eagle or Manager or Supervisor, you will not reach it. So dig deep down in yourself and find out what triggers you. So the business plan is important, and the map, you already have the map. For Eagle Manager, you know exactly the rules, and that is your map to success. I hope that I have given you some information, inspiration, and I really hope to see as many of you as possible on the next trip, which is to Phoenix, Arizona. You still have 2.5 weeks, so work day and night to get there. It's going to be worth it, I promise you. And for all of you starting 1st of May, I keep my fingers crossed. I see you also 2019. My God. Yeah, that's right. And we don't know where yet. I wish you all the best and good luck, and thanks for listening. Thank you, Camilla.
Muted.
Thank you, Marie, and thank you for an inspiring webinar. And for those of you that are close to qualify this period, don't hesitate to contact us if there is something we can help you with. And for all of you, don't forget to set your plan for the next qualification period that starts in 2.5 weeks. Don't forget that we have a Supervisors Challenge in April and May. That means if anyone do a move up to supervisor during April or May, they will be invited to a special supervisor day on Friday before a summer party in June. So you get a new supervisor for your Eagle qualification, and they get a special day here at the castle. So a win-win situation for both of you. Thank you for listening today. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.